If you live to be 80 years old, you will spend roughly 26 of those years completely unconscious. Think about that for a second. More than a quarter of your entire existence on this planet is spent doing absolutely nothing. No working, no spending time with loved ones, no learning new things. Just lying in a dark room, completely defenseless. From an evolutionary standpoint, sleep seems like a terrible design flaw. It makes us highly vulnerable to predators, it prevents us from gathering food, and it eats up our most valuable resource, time. So what if we just skipped it? What if evolution had taken a different path, and humans never needed to sleep at all? On paper, it sounds like the ultimate human upgrade, an extra 8 hours every single day to do whatever you want. But if we dig into the biology of how our bodies and minds actually work, a world without sleep wouldn't be a paradise. In fact, it would completely rewrite human history, our economy, and the very nature of our minds. Here is exactly what would happen. Let's start with the most obvious change: society. We currently operate on a 24-hour cycle because the sun goes down and our brains shut down. But if we never needed to sleep, the concept of a day would change forever. We wouldn't have a distinct day and night anymore. We would have a single, continuous stream of human activity. At first, you might think you use those extra 8 hours to pick up new hobbies, learn a language, or finally write that book you've been putting off. But human history shows us a very different reality. Whenever humans discover more time, society finds a way to fill it with work. Instead of a standard 40-hour work week, we would likely see 80-hour or even 100-hour work weeks become the normal societal standard. The economy wouldn't stop. Businesses, offices, and construction sites would never close. There would be no night shift or day shift, just a relentless, never-ending rotation of human industry. But it gets even weirder. Since nobody is sleeping, the concept of a home would change completely. You wouldn't need a bedroom. Homes would be much smaller, designed only for eating, relaxing, and storing your belongings. The very architecture of our world would shrink. To make a world without sleep actually work, our biology would have to change on a fundamental level. See, we often think of sleep as a quiet time when the brain simply shuts off, but the reality is exactly the opposite. Sleep is the only time your brain gets to do its most important job, taking out the trash. While you are awake, your brain cells are constantly working, and just like any machine, they create waste products. Specifically, a toxic protein called beta-amyloid. If this cognitive trash is left to pile up, it damages your neurons, causes severe memory loss, and makes it completely impossible to think clearly. When you fall asleep, your brain activates a highly specialized cleaning system called the glymphatic system. It floods your brain with fluid, washing away all the metabolic waste you built up during the day. If humans never slept, our brains would have to find a way to clean themselves while we were still awake. Imagine trying to mop the floors of a busy airport while thousands of travelers are constantly running through the terminal. It's nearly impossible. The cleaning fluid would be stepped on, the trash would be kicked around, and the mess would only get worse. Without a dedicated biological cleaning cycle, our minds would be in a constant state of decay. We wouldn't just be tired, we would be fundamentally incapable of forming long-term memories. And that brings us to the biggest trade-off of a sleepless life: memory consolidation. Right now, your brain uses sleep to sort through everything you experience during the day. It acts like a highly efficient librarian. It takes the important things you learned and moves them into long-term storage. And it takes the useless information, like what the person in front of you was wearing at the coffee shop, and throws it away. If you never slept, your brain would have no quiet time to file those papers. You would experience permanent sensory overload. Your short-term memory would fill up within a day or two. After that, your brain would either have to start deleting your memories in real time to make room for new ones, or it would stop recording new information entirely. You might remember what you did an hour ago, but you would completely forget what you did last week. To prevent this, evolution would have to strip away our complex memory systems entirely. We would become creatures of pure reaction, highly efficient at surviving in the exact present moment, but completely incapable of remembering our past or imagining our future. So when we ask, what if humans never slept? The answer isn't that we'd be more productive. The answer is that we would stop being human. We didn't evolve to need sleep because nature made a mistake. We evolved to need sleep because it was the only way to build a high-performance brain. Sleep isn't a design flaw, it's a vital maintenance period. It's the daily pause that resets the system, cleans the slate, and gives us the mental clarity to wake up the next morning and push the world forward. We don't lose a third of our lives to the dark. We give up that third to make the other two-thirds worth living. So next time you feel guilty for sleeping in on a Sunday morning, don't. You aren't wasting time. You're just letting your brain do the ultimate work of keeping you human. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.